Happy Thursday, folks. Anthony Speciale here with Speciale Analysis, unedited and on the edge of the market. Welcome back. Hope you're having a great week. Yesterday we looked at a particular stock. Today we're going to do the same thing. Guys, when we get to these periods of time where the market, I don't want to say it's not cooperating, but we're in a period of indecision. Are we going higher or are we going lower? And even looking at the major indices, which we've covered, we're all kind of hovering around this area of who's in control? And that question has not been answered yet. Is it the buyers? Is it the sellers? It's very little confirmation, a lot of consolidation over the past couple weeks. So what we're doing right now is preparing for the very next move. So we're looking at some big name stocks. Today we're going to look at a company called Home Depot, ticker HD. I am sure at some point in your life you've walked through a Home Depot. You get that familiar smell of lumber and all the other interesting products as you walk through there. But I want to take a look at the chart. I want to analyze it. We are sitting at a point of long-term support, but we have not offered the opportunity yet to buy the market or to buy it. And we may not get that opportunity. The opportunity may be, in fact, to short it. So let's jump in and take a quick look, and then we're going to talk about it a little bit today and see what we have for ourselves. So what you're seeing is a longer-term chart of Home Depot, ticker HD. This is a weekly chart. Those of you who have joined me in the past know that I look at the big picture, and then I look for opportunities within the big picture. And the reason I do that is those opportunities typically hold a much higher success rate than looking at the shorter term. Trust me, the big institutional buyers, the hedge funds, they are not looking at 5-minute charts. Most of them aren't even looking at daily charts. That is the shortest time frame that they're looking at. So where do I start? I start with the monthly chart. I dial into the weekly chart, and then I do use the daily chart for entering or managing trades. So it's not that it's discounted, but we're not day trading here. We are looking to put our money to work, let it do its thing, let it breathe, and then just watch our account grow. I mean, this is essentially what we build. I just built a brand new product that is going live with Traders Agency on June 21st. And the name of the product, you'll never guess what it is. It's called Part-Time Profits. Why is it Part-Time Profits? Because the idea is not to live in front of the computer. It's not about a trade room. It's not about day trading or trading every nook and cranny of the market. It's about looking for big picture moves, the kind of moves that I share with you guys. And the beauty is if you could get 5, 8, 12, 15% of a move on a stock, which is not hard to do, the beauty of that is you could very efficiently get a 10 times multiple of that in the options market. So something that may only take a few weeks or even a few months to transpire, you could be looking at a several 100% return on your money as long as you do it correctly. So let's look at this particular setup that we're looking at on Home Depot. Obviously, you can see the two black channels. We are in a longer-term uptrend. You can also see the COVID low marked by the blue channels and then where we had topped out basically at the beginning of this year. You could see in January we kind of rolled over. Consistent with the overall market. You can see right here end of December, beginning of January, we created a topping pattern, if you would, and that's kind of where we halted. So we fell back to support, and you can see we spent 1, 2, 3, 4, approximately 5 weeks at this area of support, drawn and derived from two different support structures. So we sat there, and then we finally broke. Price kind of came back up, and then it sold off, and then found new support here at this center black channel line, which is wonderful. The question is always, and then what? What do we do from here? What are we looking for Home Depot? Now, Home Depot has essentially stalled. I mean, in the big picture here, we've now gone sideways 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 weeks almost. Almost 3 months. The stock really hasn't done anything. It has stayed in this very range-bound area. It has drifted lower, but support has kind of held, and it's just, kept pushing up, and now it's drifting lower again. So the question is, where do we go from here? So you see a teal single line drawn. What is that's called? The term for that is called a counter trend line. So if we get a break of that counter trend line, we could potentially see this market go higher, which is what we may be looking to see it do. If we don't get a break of that and this continues to hold and price continues to settle below it on a weekly basis, eventually we're going to push ourselves into this wedge here. You can see this black channel goes this way and the teal channel goes down. Eventually the price is going to get squeezed. Now, when the price gets squeezed into a tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter area, eventually it breaks. The question is, which way? We don't know yet. But once we do know, we know that we have actionable information that we can put to use, whether it's buying this long, selling it short, buying calls, buying puts, or if you want to get creative with options, if you're savvy with them, that's fine. I don't get deeper than buying calls and puts, simply because for protection purposes, I am the most conservative in the way that I personally trade, and that is also the way that I teach and preach. So again, if you are more savvy in selling and things of that nature, you're welcome to do it. I understand it. I personally have done it in the past, but I don't get involved in teaching or promoting selling options, only because I do know that you know at some point it may come due that you have to take delivery of what you're obligated to, and I don't want to put anyone in that position. So don't think that those aren't other avenues to take advantage, because they are, but they're just not avenues that I'm going to go down, at least not publicly. So with that said, again, we are watching price action here. If we continue to get the squeeze, which it looks like we're going to do, price still is hovering basically within this range. If we close below the black channel, big picture, we should then retest support down here somewhere in the 230 area is what I'd be looking for. Now, I also give a 1% buffer, so wherever my target is that week, let's just say we're here, I would add 1%. So my target would essentially be, I don't know, 229 to be conservative. I just rounded to 230 and called it a day. Now, realizing this is not going to happen overnight unless we suffer some type of major economic breakdown. That's just not the case. That's not what's going to happen. So we need to project how long is it going to take. Probably 3 to 5 months for this to manifest. It could be a little faster than that, but when you're working with weekly charts and you're working with monthly structures, it's typically a 3 to 5 month buy or sell signal. So we're going to want to be creative with that. We're going to want to understand that if we're going to buy a put option, if the market goes lower, we're going to want to buy something that expires about 6 months out from now. Now, if we break above and settle above this teal counter trend line by 1+%, we're going to want to look to buy call options. And again, we're going to want to look for that 3 to 5 months, so about a 6 month expiration. And then, we can look for a target somewhere up in here. I'd probably be looking for an out of the money call option around 350-ish. Or even a little shorter. So, if the premium's not terribly expensive, then go somewhere closer to the middle of where your target is and what your where your entry's at. But if it's the premium gets higher and you need to lessen the premium that you're going to pay, then you need to adjust accordingly. But the idea here is we have had successfully tested support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks out of the past 6 or 7. And support seems to be holding, just like it seems to be holding on the broader markets. Now, if the broader markets obviously sell off, Home Depot's going to likely go with it. It is what it is. But if the broader markets do start to exhibit some strength, and this is more than just a temporary relief rally, this could in turn break the counter trend line and offer us to buy this long. But keep in mind, we still want to see a weekly settlement of 1+% above the counter trend line. If we don't have that, it would very well be considered what's called a false breakout. Now listen, we could have a confirmation and it still not work. But we want to limit those from happening as often as possible. So the objective is to always look for that confirmation. So guys, we're going to be keeping an eye on Home Depot. We're going to be we realize the market is in this area of indecision. What is trending today? The energy sector. Pick the one you like. ExxonMobil, Chevron, Devon Energy, Valero. I don't care which one you pick. You could buy almost any energy stock that's out there, and the market overall is just on its way up. When it comes to the rest of the market, outside of the energy sector uniquely, the rest is in this little bit of a case of indecision. And trust me, the energy market that is so strong is putting the rest of the market in that case of indecision. Because the rest of the market, everything the rest of the market does and everything the rest of the market is based on and will always be based on what the cost of the underlying energy is required to operate. So just keep that in mind. The higher energy goes, the more pressure we're going to see on all these companies because it's going to ultimately hurt them. The value of energy does in fact affect every single business. Doesn't matter if it's Home Depot or Amazon or Google or whatever. Every business requires the use of energy. It is what it is. It's everything you touch, everything you see. Here is a bottle of Poland Spring I just finished drinking. This required petroleum to make the plastic, to manufacture it, to deliver it. All the logistics that went with this so that I could enjoy this bottle of water came from petroleum. So keep that in mind. As the energy sector continues to get strong, we need to be cautious of the rest of the market. But if this is more than a relief rally, if we get a push higher, we'll be prepared to buy the market again. If it's not a relief rally, or it is only just a relief rally, and these markets do get pushed lower, because the cost of energy does drive down profits, and it will, we're prepared to short the market. It doesn't matter which direction the market goes. When we're in a period of indecision, we sit on our hands. And we simply do that because we're not losing any money. But when the market's moving, we want to be on the right side of it. And looking at the big picture is what keeps you on the right side of it. So I hope you found this video informational. I hope you learned something. I will be keeping Home Depot on my radar. I will circle back with you, of course, if an opportunity seems to trigger. I'd be more than happy to share it with you. But outside of that, guys, if you found this slightly entertaining, again, a little bit informational, I would appreciate if below this video you can like, share, subscribe, do all that fun social stuff, just so I can share this with more folks 100% for free. And that is my ultimate goal. Now, if you're interested, I am building a product. The product is built. We are launching the product June 21st at Traders Agency, where you can actually get involved with learning how to build these structures on your chart for yourself. This is not a program. Everything's hand-drawn. But that is what I'll be teaching, and that does give you the opportunity to learn it for yourself so that you can look at the market in a completely different light. I mean, you can clearly see taking this away gives you a chart, but a chart with very little direction. And simply adding these hand-drawn lines gives you perspective that you did not have without them. So, as always, I wish you a beautiful and blessed day. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're staying well. Hope it's a profitable week. Again, be patient with the market. Let it come to you. It will. It always does. Have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.